reparations. I like your model of what you said, how we should get it, and how money should not be at the top. It should be on the list, but not at the top.
Correct.
And why do we have so many? No other people that receive reparations have people in their own race talking so against it. And that, why do we have so many, Negro pens that do that? This guy named Anton he talked so down on reparations, it was pathetic. And that's one thing. And another thing, you have a talk show host that comes on that station once a week. Anytime you bring up African slavery, he'll either hang up on you or say black people or black Africans enslaved white people before. What does that have to do with our slavery? Was totally different from any other group that was enslaved, period. They even fought a civil war around slavery. So explain those two things, if you will.
Thank you.
On the reparations piece, 3 major points in my reparations platform. As you already said, money should not be at the top of the list because money expires. The American dollar is a promissory note that is not backed to any mineral resource. It's not attached to gold, silver, copper, or anything else. So why should we accept restitution for the worst crime in human history in a form of currency that doesn't have a mineral equivalent? That would be criminal, number one. That would also be betrayal of our ancestors. Number 2, for reparations, black people should control all black music. Nobody else can sell it, produce it, market it, or publish it. All black music is under the control of black people. And the reason for that, America makes more money off of black music than almost anything else she sells. So if we can control our music, we'll be good. Number 2, our creations. All black inventions become permanent patents of black America. If anybody wants to use anything we've ever invented, they have to pay us. And the third one that I'll give is 60% of black people occupy 10 states. 60% of us are in California, Illinois, Virginia, Maryland, Texas, Florida, and there's a few other states. And every one of those states is a seaboarding state, so we should control the port. We get paid every time something comes in. We get paid every time something goes out. But I do want to say this, though. No black person gets reparations if they're married or dating outside of the race. No reparations if you are a SnowBunny hopper, because what good am I giving you reparations for your ancestors and you're going to take that money right to a white man or a white woman? How is that helping us for you to take the reparations and give it right back to the people we got it from? So if you are a SnowBunny hopper, you do not get reparations. Black power.
That's a caveat. It's going to be a bunch of people breaking up on that. It's been nice. This is great. Or they're going to wake up like, you know what?
But you know what? I ain't too sure, brother. I ain't too sure. I think a lot of black men who date out the race, if they have to choose between reparations and a white girl, I think they stand with her.
Because they think that is their
reparations. Yes.
Yeah.
They will give up the money to be with a white woman. I truly believe that.
It validates them.
Yes.
If you're giving them a gold brick for that white woman, and they would rather have the white woman than the gold brick,
I believe a lot of them would.
That's what I wanted to get into. We didn't, because we kind of touched on it earlier. I wanted to talk about, why do you think we are so? Because our relations are just terrible.
They are.
There's so many people
that
are giving relationship advice, and there's so many platforms that are successful based on dysfunction.
I agree.
Right?
It's the conflict.
Right.
Black culture, modern day American African culture is based on conflict.
Right.
If you want to sell, you have to be beefing with somebody. That's the reality show. That's rap music. That's R&B. That's everything we do. The community. Where's the fight at? We want to see a good fight between blacks. And it's a big reason for why we can't move forward.
Yeah, I'm really disheartened at the state of our relationships, where we find ourselves, the inherent distrust between black women and black men, and black men and black women, and everyone's guarded, and everyone has their guards up, and no one trusts, and everyone assumes the worst.
Yes.
And we have to get to the point that some people are willing to be vulnerable, that some people are willing to take a chance.
Yes.
And some people are willing to have some grace.
Yes.
And our inability to operate in grace with each other, honestly, very deeply concerns.
I agree.
And I want to speak from the women's standpoint. Like, women don't like me, okay? When I say this, women are mismanaging the lives of their children. They're only raising them on one side of the story, and when they do so, they have this what I would call hero syndrome. They want the child to believe that because of me, you are this, and that is a problem, because now you would tell a man, I don't want anything from you just so you can go work 2 jobs and say you did that.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yes. Yes.
I know it's cool.
Yeah. And the other point to that, when you look at a lot of the online relationship podcast conversations, they do have men and women, but the conversation is extremely superficial. You follow me?
Yeah,
it's about
structured.
looks,
Yeah.
how much money. It's very superficial. You know, popping a balloon.
Yeah.
You know, it's very surface.
I
Very.
love that show.
I do too.
And it is like, why'd you pop the balloon? I didn't like your shoes.
I didn't like your
Right?
Like-
It is very superficial.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's highly entertaining.
It is.
Probably is.
But the thing that's bothered me the most is our children are watching this.
Come
That's-
on.
I'm like, what is a 7
They don't
and
have a
8?
chance.
You see what I'm saying? You 7 and 8. When I was 7 and 8, I never saw a group of black men arguing with a group of black women over. I never saw that as a. So I'm like, these children today are seeing all this toxic interaction between the genders. By the time they're 25, they're gonna throw up their hands.
Brother, I was trying to ride your Afrocentrist train till I found it was just a roller coaster running off the rails. And I'm reminded of the Songhai Empire, you know, from Mansa Musa, the despotic Sonny Ali, the hope of Asker Muhammad, till it all fell apart on Al Mansur. But some of the stuff you make, it doesn't make any sense. Define for me where anybody on earth can claim they're African, by the way. You keep saying black. We have a problem right now. I'm trying to figure out what part shall I decide is not going to be black music, or what. You got a guy right there behind the switchboards. Can he be denied having anything to do with black music? Should he be denied anywhere dealing with black culture? I mean, you talk about.
Well, Africa is the origin of civilization, so I don't think it's difficult to find out what black people invented and what they did not. I think the question is more of what did we not invent. Most genres of music.
Didn't hear me. You're
Most
not
genres of
listening to what I
music
said.
can be traced to the African continent, my brother.
Brother Umar, you're not hearing what I asked you. First of all, just define me who's not black.
I'm not interested in who's not black. I'm
Of
only
course
interested
you're
in
not,
African people.
because you set up a situation where you're going to have endless enemies. And listen, I'm black origin like any Wakanda person. But you start
Wakanda doesn't exist. There's no
Nobody told
country
you,
called
Bob.
Wakanda, my brother.
I use the term Wakanda because I look at it as a kind of reach before I grasp that. Like white people use Camelot. I use the idea of Wakanda because even though it's a cartoon or comic to many people, to me it represents the highest quality of a black culture that was unconquered, uncolonized, that other people want to imitate with an I and emulate with an E. I use it as a standard to go for, as I believe it must once existed in the past. Now, you got this idea of Afrocentrism, which I kind of go with. You got black folks here who believe never came from out of Africa. You got black folks here who not be able to define what black is what.
Well, they could just take a DNA test and see if we came out of Africa.
Fine, then tell me who could take a DNA test who wouldn't be African if we all came out of Africa.
And to what end would we do that, Joe, if I may ask?
The point is this. I want to agree with him about the idea of having a strong black consciousness. But the way, if Tulsa's been the example that white folks are dynamic and they're evil, let's assume there's a separate people called white folks. We must not create endless enemies. The idea of reparations should be this, where the most hated white guy wakes up one day and realizes he's disrespected his African ancestors. That's not likely to happen. Other than that, we might as well go for that bag. If everything, Umar, you're saying is correct to a certain extent. But if you honestly think that if I was a racist white guy, I'm going to sit there and let you do this, like it's all going to be great, take 6 states, I'd take your...
No, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. I completely believe that what we are entitled to and what we are asking for and what we expect, you tend to only get after war.
No, you don't have to get it after war. That's not true.
That's very true.
The case, we're in here because...
That's very true. Why do
the
people
homies
fight
in
wars?
place.
People fight wars for land and resources.
Brother,
Both world wars were fought
right
for
now,
land and resources.
Brother Umar, explain to me, Dahomey. Explain to me how those folks in Dahomey took black people as slaves and shipped them over to the Americas. Explain to me the Mali and Song Empire, where mostly it was slaves by other black folks.
What
And I
does
don't
that
wanna
have
sound
to
like
do with
Jim
your
McCullough,
previous
but I'd be
point?
darned if I sit there. Anthony Johnson in the United States, that brother was just kicking us in the butt because he wanted to be like the best whites in slavery. What are you talking about, brother?
Thank
You
for that.
jumping all over the place, my brother. Black power. You jumping all over the
This
place.
is our last
Oh,
break for
boy.
the segment.
Man.
I know. It was a good one. But again, it's important that we be able to have dissenting point of
Yes,
view.
Yeah.
disagree without being disagreeable.
Right.
Right.
And have that
Or
exchange.
disrespectful. We don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's go out. We'll be right back with phone lines are still open, 773-591-1690. Give us a call, and we're here with Dr. Umar. We'll be right back. And as I say that, I'm closing the phone lines.
Man, that's a wild boy there.
You wild all
You know,
the time.
Joe is usually kind of on point. That's why I gave him so
Okay,
much latitude.
okay,
He's normally
okay.
one of our more astute callers.
I got you.
So
I got you.
I didn't see that, and I was trying really hard to understand the root of his issue.
I got
And I
you.
still never got it.
He's like,
Me
this is
either.
my moment.
Yeah.
This is my moment.
Yeah, he went from
I
Black
never
Wall
got
Street to the homie.
Yeah.
What we talking about?
I never got the root of it, and I hate that.
Oh, any other room? Let me get my chicken.
Yeah, go ahead, Queen.